So we're getting to John the Baptist and the coming of John the Baptist and a few other matters that we left hanging last time. So I just wanted to read you once again this description of the coming of John the Baptist in Josephus. You don't have this book because it's too expensive, but if you get these collected works of Josephus like I have in these, this is a collected works and this is a collected works, you can get them in a lot of church stores, a rip-off from a 16th century translation. They don't have to pay any royalties that way. The guy's been dead 400 years. So, that's a joke. What?
I just wanted to ask you, how come we don't, a lot of times during this class, we always went into the Maccabees. You don't do that anymore?
No, that's a different class.
Okay.
That's his school.
Oh, man.
What was this, a concert beginning? We're at the LA Philharmonic? Anyway, yeah, you just sit still over there. What are you moving? So, chapter 8, book 18, chapter 14, is Josephus. If you don't have this book, as I was saying, because the war is less expensive, but if you really want to study this period, you want to really be someone knowledgeable, make the investment. I mean, look, you got your whole life ahead of you. You got a lot of time when you're bored with your wife or your husband and fed up with your children or whatever else you're going to do in life, on a vacation or, you know, even if you stay single or have other kinds of alternate relationships, you're bound to have some downtime that you want to spend it aside from, you know, reading, you know, the latest idiotic magazine. And Josephus is always a good substitute for that. And plus you learn something. So the Antiquities is worth having. And you don't have to read the whole Antiquities. I've told you that Antiquities is so-called 20 books. It's really, I would say, 20 chapters divided up into sections. But they have it as 20 books divided up into chapters. But, you know, the Antiquities, you don't really have to start till around book 16. You've only really got to look at the last 4 or 5 books. And those are the books that parallel the Jewish war, but go into more detail. And this is if they're two continuous accounts, they're overlapping accounts. The other books retell the Bible and other things of that kind in Josephus' own inimical manner for his Greco-Roman audience. Okay, so you can read it, or there's be a bit of information here and there that will be interesting. I have to be honest, I've never read the whole of the Antiquities through, so even I, who emphasize getting it, you know, am a laggard in that regard. It's just too vast to read all of that all the way through. But from chapter 16 onwards, you can be sure I've read it, and or book 16 onwards. So I do recommend it. Okay, so about this time, it was that Philip, Herod's brother. And you see there's two individuals here. There's a Philip and a Herod. But he's not Herod like all the Herods. He's Herod. He's one of the Herodians called Herod, and that's what a lot of people don't realize. Departed this life in the 20th year of the reign of Tiberius, after he had been tetrarch of Trachonitis and Gaulonitis. Trachonitis and Gaulonitis are, I don't have to draw my map again, I hope. The Golan Heights, familiar in all the war in the Middle East where the Golan Heights are, above the Sea of Galilee on the Syrian side towards Damascus. And of the nation of the Batanaeans for 37 years. Well, that's all the same area. It's also in the back of my James book. I have a good map of that. He had shown himself a person of moderation and quietness in the conduct of his life and a government. He constantly lived in the country which was subjected to him. He used to make his progress, blah, 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 blah. He ordered the guilty that were convicted to be punished and absolved those who had been accused unjustly. He died. He knows a lot about him. His principality, Tiberius, for he left no sons behind him. See, this Philip left no sons and added to the province of Syria. but gave order that the tributes which arose from it should be collected and laid up, and so on and so forth. About this time, Aretas, the king of Arabia Petra, and Herod, Arabia Petra is over, again, more south of this, down by the Red Sea, and a little bit maybe further up. And Herod had a quarrel on account that Herod the Tetrarch, now this is a different person, this is Herod Antipas, had married the daughter of Aretas and had lived with her a great while. But when he was in Rome, he lodged with Herod, that is the other brother. It's very confusing. That's why the New Testament gets confused. That other brother, whose brother indeed, but not by the same mother, for this Herod was the son of the high priest Simon's daughter. High priest Simon's daughter I know it's confusing, you have to read this yourself sometime, is the Bethusian high priest that I mentioned, the second Mariam who married Herod from Egypt. So this is a Bethusian. Anyway, he married her, who was the brother indeed. Anyway, he was the son of that mother. Herod had 10 wives, so it's sort of like a Saudi Arabian monarch. For this Herod was the son of the high priest Simon's daughter. However, he fell in love with Herodias, this last Herod's wife. Oh my God. So, getting birth, who was the daughter of Aristobulus, their brother, and the sister of Agrippa the Great. This man ventured to talk to her about a marriage between them, which she admitted an agreement was made to her to change her habitation and come to him as soon as he should return from Rome. One article of the marriage also was that he should divorce Aretas' daughter. So this guy, if I can get it straight, Philip is already dead. And Philip died childless. He had no children, at least no male children, according to this. Accordingly, Herod sent her thither, as thinking his wife had not perceived anything. Now she had spent a good while. This is the detail you get in Josephus. This is fantastic detail. I mean, let's be honest. It may not be perfect, but compared to the gospel detail, you have to admit it's infinitely vaster. And it's hard even to understand it, so it's so dense. And so, let's see, he sent the good woman, I can't even follow this, without informing her. Accordingly, Herod sent her thither, as thinking his wife had not perceived anything. Now she sent us a good,